Okay, we'll call to order the meeting of the East Sac County Board of Directors and welcome everybody who's here. I guess we're not having a public hearing this time, so we'll just get right into the meeting. We've reviewed the ESC mission statement several times over the last few days, so I think we'll let that one go and approve the agenda. We don't have any, no additions to the agenda. We'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Then we'll move into consent items. John?
Yeah, does anybody have any questions on any of the minutes?
I thought the minutes that Donita did were done very well.
Good. Thanks. Feel good about it.
But no, you can't be replaced.
Yeah,
I will
no.
tell you, she takes a lot longer to do them because she was so
Yeah.
concerned about being absolutely accurate. He just sort of, and his are accurate, but I was like,
Yeah.
Anita, it's okay.
He's been doing it long enough. He
Yeah.
knows exactly what's
Yeah.
going on, so.
Yeah.
The financial statement, actually general fund looks better than it did in March. We talked about that a little bit in March. We'll see what May brings again. I mean, there's just some timing issues with open
Yeah,
enrollment and
looks
stuff
good
coming
now.
through, so. As far as the bills go, there's a few more bills than typical dollar-wise, but there's about 100,000 worth of open enrollment and tuition and stuff in there. So that gets us right back down to about our regular month.
I see quite a few reimbursements in there, John. Is that just for
Yeah, it's
something
just some,
normal?
well, there's a couple things going on. There's, we do some PD stuff through the state, so each of our staff members get $250 a year.
For
So
that?
some of that stuff's getting turned in at the end of the year, some of it's mileage getting turned in at the end of the year. So
I see.
there's a few things. The only bill I kinda noted was Newell Fonda. It says open enrollment for $29,000. That's open enrollment and instructor costs.
Oh.
Shows tag instructor, so that description's off just a tad. I thought the rest of the stuff was accurate. So, the computers in the Pepple Fund are kind of the start of the middle school one-to-one project, and we approved another PO yesterday for another big chunk of that, so that'll be there in June. And then in the Lost Fund, one of the two vans that you approved a while back showed up finally, and the other one's still on the way, so. Anything else you guys had circled,
I
or?
had a question, John, and I apologize for not calling you earlier about this, but box top rewards. What does that mean? Do you know?
It's, yeah, there was a reimbursement to the PTO. No, I don't know, Chris.
What page you on?
It's in the activity fund, and
Yeah,
the
it just-
vendor name is East Sac County Schools PTO. And it's box top reward.
I'm sure they do a lot
The
with box
PTO
tops.
organizes the collection of box tops.
Yeah.
And you probably know,
And it it probably went into,
Probably flows through us.
yes.
Yeah.
and then.
And then it goes
back
back
into
out,
their
it
account.
goes back out to teachers.
'Cause it
then.
is a
So if I was a
round number.
classroom teacher and my kids collected box tops, however many they collected, it's equally divided amongst the classrooms that collect box tops. So then a teacher might have $100, every teacher that their class collected might have, say, $100 to buy something for their classroom.
Remember
So-
when we taped the teachers to the walls last year?
I
That was part
remember
of that.
several things that the kids did for box tops, and yeah, I think it's a good
the
I'll
program.
double
and
check that
so
when we leave, but I'm.
You think it's a flow through?
Sounds like a
Yeah.
flow through to me.
Yeah, that's what I
Back
kind
out
of
to the
thought too.
PTO and then.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, I would entertain a motion, first of all, to approve the bill to Albright Oil.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Then I would entertain a motion to approve the financial statement, the 4 sets of minutes, and the remaining bills on account.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, we'll move on to number 5, reports superintendent.
Only thing I would report to you is we have professional development going on the 3 days of this week, today, tomorrow, and Friday, and 4 days next week. Our new hires, our 5 new high school teachers are all present for all of the 7 days, which is good. We had a good turnout this morning for recognition of retirees and people leaving the district. We'll be looking for 2 more teachers, a transitional kindergarten teacher for the district-wide, and then a first grade teacher at the Wall Lake building. And Mike and I spoke today about applications. We're hoping to interview the week of the 8th, and we have good applicants. We're looking for someone with special education endorsement, early childhood, and reading endorsement. We have some candidates, so.
Can you repeat that again? What teachers are we looking for right now?
First grade in Wall Lake. That would be Carrie Mailer, moved to 4th grade in SAC, the SAC Elementary building, and then transitional kindergarten, because Angela Ellerbrock went to the 2nd kindergarten position at the SAC building. She transferred to that position. Yep. So that's the reports. I'd hope at the June board meeting, we've got recommendations for those 2 elementary positions to bring to you.
Then is that all that should be all, unless we have something happen between now and then, that should be all the
We might
positions?
I have a couple of, 1 or 2 associates at this building, because several have left the district. But we're kind of waiting on that to see what enrollment next fall looks like.
That's something that changes quite frequently, right?
Yeah. So that would be my report.
Okay. Thank you, and there's no unfinished business, right?
Nope.
Okay. Move on to new business and discuss and/or approve summer projects. We talked a little bit about these in the last meeting, but now we've got a list of them here.
Yeah, we kind of, want me to go through that? We
Yeah.
kind of pared that down to what we've decided to try and get done this summer. The first item is the most costly, and we've been advised by the boiler inspector and the guy that takes care of our boilers for several years now that the boilers at the SAC Elementary are due to be replaced. So we think in light of where we're at financially and the lack of other large projects, it's a great time to get them done.
At the SAC building?
Yeah, SAC Elementary.
We don't want to do them in the wintertime.
No, so, there's 2 bids in your packet, and we obviously, like the cheaper bid. So, our recommendation on that is to accept the bid from Carroll Control Systems for $65,850. Then if you go down through that list, 1 through 15, those are projects, that are less costly, don't require 2 bids, that type of thing. That we also plan to get done this summer with your approval. And number 2, we've talked about, maybe just with Brent and Chris in our meetings, but the bleachers in Lakeview, for their age, are in good shape, but they're not motorized, and they're in and out very often. So at least one side is for PE and for middle school activity, for basketball, for volleyball, those types of things. So we'd like to try to get one side motorized and see how that works out. If we like it, then we might come back to you and see about doing the other side. Items 3, 4, and 5 are just some miscellaneous concrete work on sidewalks and entryways. Number 6 is an energy efficiency thing. We'd like to just start doing $25,000 a year in LED light conversions in all of our buildings. To try and...
Well, there's some rebates for that too. Did we talk about that?
There are. Mid-American in our Sac City buildings, Mid-American has a rebate. Steve's worked with the city of Wall Lake on a possibility over there. We haven't gotten anywhere with the city of Lakeview so far, so. We need to do some work on the floor here in the Lakeview kitchen. And the SAC Elementary will continue to replace those single outside doors that are on all the classrooms. I think this will finish all of them. Plus there's one more double entry, I believe on the north side,
Yes.
that we'll be doing, that's in that 13,000. Number 9 would be the east main entry at the Lakeview building. That'll make all of the primary entrances that the kids use regularly will have been updated then in the last 4 or 5 years to the new aluminum structure. Just trying to do some safety stuff in Wall Lake so people aren't driving through that playground after school. put some fencing up. Number 11, we're gonna replace some of the posts that are laying on the ground, kind of separating areas at Sac Elementary for our transportation area. I think there's some rocks and some telephone poles. Those will be vertical white posts now. The scoreboard's here already, so that needs to be installed. I think Peterson started finishing that, press box and wall today, I believe. One of the LED projects would be the main hallway here at the high school. And some of them ceiling tile, I think, are really old. So what we would do is we would just put new LED lighting and ceiling tile in that whole hallway.
Yeah,
People are here for graduation and those things.
makes a lot of sense.
And then we'll have a number of miscellaneous items once Steve gets through the buildings with the principals. But this list of items comes to $150,000, $160,000. Way less than I had set aside or anticipated. I'd figured $300,000 for the summer for this project. So budget-wise, we're in great shape.
Yeah, part of that figuring that you did,
Well, we thought maybe we'd do some more concrete work on this parking lot, which, you know, there's 5 items down there as future projects that we'll probably look at tackling 1 or 2 of them next summer, so we'll spend a little more next year.
I think the thing that Brent and I got to see that the other 2 didn't was that budgeting that you did, budgeted out for 12 months, and the $300,000 that John had budgeted in there changed our total account balance by maybe, was it 50,000 or 75? Yeah, it was between 75 and 100,000. It went down, so this 150,000 that we're gonna do now, it'll actually, our at the end of the year will go up. So,
Any questions on those items, guys? Or? If not, if you just would make a motion to accept one of the 2 boiler quotes and the remaining summer projects, I think that's all we need.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the boiler quote for Carroll Control and the other items mentioned for summer projects.
Second?
Got a motion and a second to approve the summer projects and the lower bid from Carroll Coolers for the boilers in the Sac Elementary School. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion carried. Okay.
No, we made a phone call.
Okay.
I don't think there's any in that area.
Okay, we'll move on to new business, discuss and/or approve licensed staff contracts. And this is page 15, right?
Yep.
Actually, licensed staff would be A and B, so it'd be 15 and 16.
15 and 16? Okay.
So with the Schedule B contracts, those are always pending the final completion of evaluations, especially for spring sports and summer sports. So it would be pending completion of evaluations, so just know that part of it. The list on the front also includes our new teachers, which you also approved earlier, but didn't approve salary amounts.
Oh,
And
okay.
just know that for licensed staff, that's everyone except the 2 additional people we'll be hiring, and then we'll do administrator salaries at the June board meeting.
Okay.
It is Schedule A and Schedule B in the master contract.
Yeah, so page 15 and 16, so, yeah, knowing that we, that we're gonna make sure that there's a satisfactory, evaluation done,
Yep.
And
I
what
think
goes
we're,
with that is we give them extended deadlines, because really they need to get their season completed, do their evaluations, and then have
that makes a lot of
time to
sense.
decide. So they'll have an extended deadline also.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion then to approve the contracts, I guess, on pages 15 and 16.
So moved.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Okay, then we'll move on to classified staff. And those are on page 17, right?
What would be missing from this list is you'll accept a resignation for a bus driver later here in the meeting. But at least temporarily, Phil would like to hold off on rehiring, so that would be an accurate list. We're hoping going into the fall. Associates, there've been a couple, 3 cuts in associates. That's simply because we have students, especially those one-on-one associates who have students that are no longer with the district. For instance, maybe at our high school, we graduated 6 or 7 special education students, some of whom needed one-on-one, so we don't need as many associates. We will probably hire back at the high school, maybe 1, depending on what enrollment looks like. We also have to replace a cook that wouldn't be on this list yet. And we'll probably wait till closer to school starting to do that as well. But otherwise, this list would be complete. It'd just be that there's a few places as there's some turnover of people that
Yeah.
wouldn't be reflected in this.
I have a question on here. You know, you see the new salary. Some of them have a large number, some of them have a small number. Is that per hour?
Yeah, the ones that are smaller are not people that are paid on an hourly rate. For instance, myself or Phil, we're on a contract, a
Yeah,
yearly
right.
contracted amount, so, that's the difference.
Okay. That's what I thought, but,
The bus drivers, the 4176 is what we call a trip rate. So it's 4176 in the morning, 4176 in the afternoon.
okay. Okay, so does anybody else have any questions on this? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the contracts on page 17.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the classified contracts on page 17. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Okay, we got some ambitious kids who want to graduate early, it looks like. Discuss and/or approve early graduation requests.
This would be pending them meeting all requirements for graduation. The 3 students who currently requested early graduation are Kashmir Daggett, Cordell Bloom, and Alyssa Sexton. And I would request that you approve those 3, knowing that they'll have to meet the expectations for graduation and credits past the required classes to actually have an early graduation.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the 3 requests for early graduation pending all the qualifications are met. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay, so now we're gonna come to the resignation for the bus driver.
We've got a couple of pages front and back. We've got resignations. The first would be Bob Leiboom, who is retiring. And I think writes a very nice note in here about what he's going to be doing in the future. And then there's a resignation for Colin Martin from both his associate position at the middle school as a one-on-one associate, as well as a coaching resignation. And then the last one is Melissa Rapp, a resignation. She actually wrote that in March, if you noted that. And we just sort of held on to it because she needed to not complete the rest of the year, but we weren't sure if she would be back or not. But we talked to her recently and she's not intending on coming back next year. So that's why her resignation was dated much earlier.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend that you accept those resignations.
I talked to Bob last week and he told me that he was, you know, he couldn't say enough good things about Phil. He really liked working for Phil and he was really excited about moving to Minnesota and being able to spend time with grandkids, so I just thought I'd put
Good
that.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it won't be a school bus parked by the liquor store anymore either.
That's right.
It was always back behind, but it's like, what's that at the liquor store for?
Yeah, that probably didn't look very
That's not
good.
good.
That's one of those pictures that shows up in a joke somewhere. It says
Only
these
was
County schools on
Scratch
it.
our head when a group goes there and buys some pop. too.
Yeah.
Like what they were writing a school check to the
Yeah,
liquor store.
to the
The
liquor
auditor
store.
asks everyone.
I'm sure. Yeah, so I would entertain a motion to approve the resignations
So moved.
Second.
and make sure that we tell all three of those people, thank you for their service and good luck. No contracts, right? So,
What was Melissa Rath's position?
She was an associate in the high school in special education. Sorry, I didn't make that very clear.
And at the last meeting, you guys set June
27th?
24th.
Fourth.
June 24th at noon for a board meeting. We have sort of a preliminary list, just so you have some idea for the next board meeting. We'll be looking at your approval of handbooks, like parent student handbook and the personnel handbook. We will bring to you school fees, that'd be meal fees as well as just registration fees. We'll have a look at the audit, administrative contracts, superintendent evaluation will happen, I think, doesn't that happen between now and the next meeting? I'm not
I
sure.
handed mine in one day late, but I got it in here, so.
Okay.
Well,
Dunny is probably working on them right
she-
now,
she's getting it
so.
put together, and then either Barb needs to meet with the two of you, or we need to set a closed session one or the other. whatever you guys
Yeah,
wanna do.
we can come in, or I can come in, or we can
Whatever you guys want to do.
talk to Barb, and then we'll go from there.
The IT position, our goal is to have that job description finalized and advertised so that we can come to the meeting knowing what we've got for applicants for that position and bring that to you. Shoot, there was just something else that, I have looked back, and in the years that the board has established new board goals, they've done it in June. So I'd like to bring you some ideas, and they'd probably be very similar to what your current board goals are. But we should look at those here either in June or July.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Can we have this at the liquor store?
No,
No? Okay.
that's,
Nice try.
You were thinking it, Brent?
Mm,
No?
no.
Is this at noon or is it night?
Yeah, it's
It's a
at noon.
noon. It's noon.
Noon on the 24th
Where at?
in Sac.
Sac Elementary.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if I'll be there. We have ball game, that's pink out night, pink out
Oh,
day.
is it?
We try to pick busy days.
Yeah.
But we'll see what,
Just an FYI, I just looked into both of the PD sessions that are going on, and we have two school attorneys that are here. They're both from the Iowa Department of Education. One's a general counsel school attorney. She writes for a school newsletter that comes out to all schools every month. And we asked her to come and speak and answer questions just about general school law, because we talk a lot about how in pre-service programs, teachers don't have any kind of law background at all, and what they say and do in the classroom, and just them understanding what sort of predicaments they can get themselves into, as well as the district and the Board of Education. And then better understand things like custody battles and what's the school stand in those, and how do you use and not use email. So she's general counsel. Then the other fellow that came today, Kevin Litter, and I've heard several times, and he's very, very good, and it's just special education law, but how all teachers need to know and understand more about special education students and the law, what's true and what's not true about practices of those students. So the elementary teachers were in a small gym, and the middle school, high school teachers in the library, and then there's an hour-and-a-half session with question and answers. We're providing lunch for them, and then the two presenters switch places, and then they hear the opposite things. Tomorrow there's a session on 504 plans for students and autism, as we have just slightly but an increasing population of autistic students. And sometimes they're just hard to understand and hard to know for sure how you work with them. So there'll be those two sessions tomorrow, then at the end of the day we're doing a tech session. And then Friday all day is a poverty simulation in the morning, and then kind of a debriefing of that. So we have 30 volunteers coming in, directed by the Northwest AEA, to do the poverty simulation, and then the debriefing of that in the afternoon. And I'll just share quickly with you one of the pieces of data that they wanted from us before that poverty work was to look at our free and reduced populations. And actually, the total number or percentage of free and reduced kids in our district hasn't increased much. So we've ranged from about 34 to 39%. Currently, we're at a little over 44%. But it's the population of free kids within the free and reduced that's increased. In our district, over the last 5 years, that number has increased by 10%. So if you just take a look at our population of about 900 or a few over for student population, over 5 years, that's 90 more kids who live in what's considered deep poverty.
Yeah.
We talked about it at our SIAC committee meeting last night, and our career and technical meeting, had a joint meeting last night. It was a very good meeting. We talked at length about what does that mean for a district then. So at any rate, those are the things we're doing this week. Next week is curriculum work, unit writing, and alignment work with Iowa Core. So just an idea of what we're up to these days. So
Just a few things.
Yeah.
But if someone asks you, so why are they up there and what are they doing? You can just say, rest assured they're working.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
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 I move you
Thanks,
have
guys.
all your meetings at noon if they last this long.